Okay, so here we have a super realistic real life example. We have a light fixture in an ice cream shop that's in the shape of an ice cream cone. How cute is that? And the cone has a height that is 7 times the radius. So just to look at the picture real quick, we've got our ice cream cone. This height right here is 7 times whatever the radius is. If you can picture a circular top of the cone right here, the radius goes from the center of that circle out to the edge. The expression for the slant height, so the slant height is this measurement that goes along the side of the ice cream cone, the slanted one. So the expression for the slant height is the square root of r squared plus h squared, where r is the radius, right here, and h is the height of the cone. So we can figure out what our slant height is by using this expression. The slant height should be no longer than 24 inches to fit on the wall. What is the slant height of the cone with the radius shown? So now, well, we're going to answer the question in the end using a radius of 3 inches. So first, let's make sense of this expression they gave us. We are going to let our radius be equal to r. We're going to use a variable of r to represent the radius. The height of the cone, they told us was, where'd they tell us? The height is 7 times the radius. So if we're using an r to represent the radius, the height will be 7 times r. All right, so they gave us an expression for the slant height. That's equal to the square root of r squared plus h squared, where r is the radius of the cone. Well, we are using an r to represent that, so we'll leave our r squared, plus h is the height of the cone, but we're going to represent the height of the cone with 7r. So let's replace this h with 7r, and then we've got the squared on that. Okay. We're just going to simplify this expression. We have the square root of r squared plus, now 7r squared is 7r times 7r, which is a 49r squared. Well, now we have like terms. 1r squared plus 49r squared is 50r squared. And because we're in a lesson where we are reducing radicals, we're going to reduce this radical. Let's think about 50. Do any perfect squares fit into 50? Does 50 have a perfect square factor? So just go through your list. 4, 9, 16, 25. Oh, there it is, 25. 25 times 2 times r squared. Now, the square root of 25 is 5. We can't square root the 2, so that stays. Square root of r squared is r. Anything that we square rooted goes out front. And then that 2 stays underneath. So what did we just do? This is our slant height, just simplified as much as we could get it simplified. 5r times the square root of 2. So what they want us to figure out is when the radius is 3. So what is the slant height with the radius shown in the picture? The radius is 3. So when the radius is equal to 3, the slant height is equal to, we're just going to plug that 3 into our little simplified slant height that we got. So 5 times 3 times the square root of 2, which is 15 times the square root of 2. And then if we were to type that into our calculator, that gives us about, oops, there's my pen, about 21.2. So what we have figured out is that the slant height of the ice cream light fixture is about 21.2 inches, which is less than 24 inches. Remember, they said that the slant height had to be less than 24 inches to fit on the wall. So because our slant height of a cone that has a radius of 3 is less than 24 inches, so the light fixture fits on the wall.